Hello and welcome to Let's Play Okami. Now, for those 10 people that are actually fans of this channel, or are my friends, there's something to go over as we get into this. I am no longer a Kutsuki gamer, as you've probably seen. There'll probably have been a video out to mention it, for me at least. But the other thing is, we no longer, well, Cloudfeather is no longer Cloudfeather, as it would be. Cloudfeather is now Pokey Leader Shadow. It's a little more relevant than Cloudfeather.
It sounds like you said cow.
No, Cloudfeather. So yes, that is the major announcement thingies that we have to do. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this just gets retold when you start the game, so...
Yeah, so I'm basically breeding like always.
And if you hear some crunching, Shadow got the munchies. And is remedying them with a bag of chips.
Every time I bite it, the stuff from the chip goes into my eye.
Anyway.
This guy is still alive.
Anyway, yeah, so Shadow's doing what Shadow does best, being a Poke Leader. So yes, we are going to start a new story and get into this, and you can hear all the laughing and stuff in my house. You're gonna hear us better than you ever did before. Story time. No. I mean, I could start.
How many petals do you think?
Lots. But then I'll read this story stuff from here on this part, but I'm not reading any more. Or I could read everything, it'd be weird.
Mark of it.
However, the village was not without its dark secrets. I do not know that second word there. Okay, I know what it... I think it means, like, satisfy. So, let's just put... So,
This is why you don't read.
to something, the appetite of Orochi, the fearsome cave-dwelling beast, a young maiden was offered as a sacrifice at the annual festival. With a body like a mountain and 8 heads mounted on its necks, the size of tree trunks. Its blood-red eyes alone were said to curse anyone who gazed into them. No one dared disobey the horrific beast. When the night of the sacrifice drew near, a mysterious white wolf appeared outside the village. This wolf, its coat as brilliant as snow, was dubbed Shiranui. The wolf kept a watchful eye on anyone who ventured outside the village, and made a habit of patrolling the streets at night. People assumed the wolf to be a familiar of Orochi. One villager took it upon himself to face the fearsome Shiranui. The warrior Nagi attempted many times to challenge the wolf, but his attempts were thralled by Shiranui's swift movements. Thwarted, sorry. Before long, the night of the accursed festival had arrived. A white-plumed arrow heralded the coming sacrifice. Herald? Piercing the sky, the arrow sunk its shaft squarely into the home of Nami? Yeah, Nami. The village's most beautiful maiden. Nagi, harboring a secret love for Nami, was enraged by this sign. Determined to put an end to Orochi once and for all, Nagi traveled to the beast's cave in place of his beloved. The Moon Cave, a place as dark as evil itself, served as Orochi's home. As Nagi stood bravely before the entrance, a beast appeared, eyes glowing crimson upon eight thrashing necks. Orochi stood tall before him, anxious for another sacrifice. Nagi leapt with incredible grace, swinging his blade violently. On and on he sliced, well into the moonless night. But Orochi's hide was like steel. The blade left nary a scratch. At long last, Nagi, his energy spent from the intense battle, dropped to his knees, fatigued and gasping for breath. He knew he was staring death in the face. It was then that the wolf appeared. As if to protect Nagi, it stood its ground before Orochi. In the darkness of the cave, the wolf's coat shone brilliantly. There I go putting in words. Alas, it was Shiranui, the wolf that dwelled outside the village. Baring its fearsome claws, Shiranui leapt towards Orochi. Orochi reared its terrifying head, readying its fangs for battle. The two beasts struggled wildly, thrashing in the darkness. Mysterious and terrifying, the spectacle continued. Shiranui summoned gusts of divine wind to counter Orochi's flames. As Orochi closed in on Shiranui, sharpened claws glistened. A gigantic tree suddenly sprouted forth, shielding the wolf. Shiranui fought gallantly to gain the upper hand. However, Orochi, protected by a mystical power, was not easily bested. Shiranui, covered in gashes, majestic coat dyed crimson, stood exhausted before the mighty Orochi. Orochi saw a chance to strike what would be the final blow, but Shiranui refused to give in. With its last ounce of strength, the majestic wolf gazed heavenward and unleashed a mighty howl. Suddenly, the black clouds overhead parted. The light from above gleamed onto Nagi's sword as a beacon of hope. Guided by his sword, Nagi, who had been taking shelter in the shadows, stood proudly to face his adversary, channeling all his strength into his sacred and battered arm. He leapt fiercely towards Orochi, his sword poised high. The golden sword danced in his hands like a puppet on a string. One by one, Orochi's fearsome heads were separated from their own. Orochi's broken body collapsed in the lake of its own blood. In that instant, the curse that had plagued the villagers was lifted. As the battle subsided, the sun shone once again in the sky. Shiranui had succumbed to Orochi's poison and struggled to breathe. Nagi scooped the beast into his arms and returned to Kamiki. When they reached the village, Shiranui was no longer moving. The village village elder gently stroked the wolf's head. In response, Shiranui let out a hoarse and spiteful bark. Then closed its eyes and drifted off as if into slumber.
What's that?
Peace had at last returned to Kamiki village. In honor of Shiranui's heroic exploits, the villagers erected a shrine and placed a statue of the wolf within it. Nagi's sword was christened Tsukiyomi and placed inside the moon cave. The villagers all looked forward to an age of endless peace. However, this is not the end of the story. There is more to this tale than most people know. 100 years had passed since Nagi and Shiranui's heroic exploits. It happened so quickly that no one in the village even took notice.
Sarah, go good.
Is this the legendary sword? This Tsukiyomi, the sword that banished the dreaded Orochi? No, it couldn't be. It's just a legend, nothing but a fairy tale. Oh, he who seeks power, he who has broken my bond. Speak the word, I wish darkness onto the world. Utter that prayer unto me, and unleash my power. Yeah, all hell's breaking loose. Yep. And the sky gets covered in dark clouds.
I didn't like the color being black. I don't think that would work in that.
Yeah, I know, right? A horrible tragedy suddenly swept over the land. However, there was one village that seemed to escape the terrible curse. The tiny settlement of Kamiki village enjoyed the protection of a sacred tree. It is here that the real story begins. Wood spirit Sakia. How troublesome. This is just like the ancient prophecy of doom. Prophecy of doom. What has transpired to bring about such calamity? We must act quickly, there is no time to lose. My power has diminished over the years I've spent protecting this area. I don't have much time left in this world. Amaterasu, now is the time. We have never needed your power more. Shine your divine light upon this broken and polluted world. Let your heavenly rays become our hope as you guide us all. Okami Amaterasu. As such divine white light, such beauty and grace. The only one capable of such wonderful spectacle is none other than our mother and the origin of all that is, Amaterasu. How delightful to see that the Savior whose brave sacrifice sealed away evil demon so many years ago has not changed one bit. Seeing you emerge after so many years spent as a statue brings happiness to my heart. Sniff. Amaterasu, gaze above you and take in the condition of the sky. Since your untimely departure from our midst, the world has succumbed to devious and vicious beasts. They have ravaged our fine and bountiful country of Okami, but never have the circumstances been worse than they are at this very moment. Please use your powers to banish the darkness and punish those who would do us harm. What is this? Has something stolen its way into my robe? Oh, ho, ho. Ooh, hee hee hee. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Try not to be too loud or creepy while doing that. Phew, what on earth? You again? Ow, 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 ow. Are you nuts? Boy, for a little thing you sure make a big fuss. I was just trying to make the conversation a bit more interesting. That's all. Are you napping in my clothes again, Bug? Bug, I told you 1,000 times not to call me that. I'm a wandering artist. The name's Isun. Wandering artist Isun. I'll show you just how great I am, and it won't be long till you're bowing before my great brush.
You don't necessarily have to say everything. It seems like more mature than anything.
Oh, that was it.
Like in a couple words.
Yeah, that's just me. You know that. Oh, what do you think? Even cuter than the real thing, no? What's with you, Furball? You look kind of down in the dumps. Actually, you look kind of familiar. God, you just look just like that statue of Shiranui. God, slobber! Oh, what do you think you're doing? Are you crazy? A handsome guy like me should never be covered in wolf slobber. You'll regret messing with the great Isun. Don't make me use my prized sword. I'm not gonna try to say that against you. Denkumaru. Alright.
That's wrong.
That's about as close as I can get.
Hashtag you tried.
Yep, hashtag you tried. Whoa, what's that growling sound? And why is it so dark anyway? Oh great God of Amaterasu, I've used all the power I have to protect Kamiki's village. The village lives on, their spirits lie encased in my fruit. Cut it free and the village will be reborn. I trust in you, I know that you will lead us down the right path. Only your awesome power can restore life to this world. The trees returned to normal, huh? That Sakia girl sure said some weird stuff. The villagers' spirits are being kept inside the fruit? That's
Like
the fruit? That's the fruit, the girl said. That girl said that. If you cut down, the village will be restored. But it's awful high up there. If you don't use some kind of special power, there's no way you're gonna reach it. This darkness is really getting to me too. A lot can happen while you're taking a nap.
You're not very good at drama. That's something more drama-ish.
Oh shit, did that fuck anything up? No. Okay, sorry people, my mouse just fell.
Or maybe it's hello. It's a boy.
Okay, and we're only at 20 minutes, which is better timing than our first episode of Life. Yes, now that we can actually do something, on to something. This is our second time doing this Let's Play. Where are we? It got awfully quiet all of a sudden. I don't remember any place like this in the village. Well, we better keep our eyes peeled. You can use the control pad to look around. The 2 button changes your point of view. Boy, you really look so helpless. Are you sure you're gonna be okay? Yes, I'm going to be just fine. And he's gonna stop us again. And this is an origin here. This stuff I'm just paraphrasing. He's basically telling that you can save here. And then basically he's trying to... This is a game that tries to push onto you saving, like every time you go to save in a different spot. As you can see, we've got many spots used up already. Well, actually no, I was going to save over 12. Because 12 was my practice that I didn't end up really doing. I don't really need it anymore. So yes, I'm going to save over this one. River of the Heavens is where we are. So yes, now that that's done, Isun's gonna bother us a lot throughout here. Like here, he's gonna tell us that we can break pots with our head. I'm going to skip it because that's really all he says. And he's like, so you can do it just about anything or something like that. Like, I don't really care. And we get yen!
Money.
Yes, money.
God's dog needs money.
Apparently. Well, we're God's dog, so... So yes, and now he's gonna stop us to tell us we can jump up walls.
So, I'm not gonna say anything else because we're just gonna go through the beginning here.
There's no point reading this.
No, it's not that. You're not gonna grade.
I don't know how to...
Like how they can breathe out. Isn't that a very good... Aren't they kind of like in space?
No, they aren't.
Well, there's stars everywhere.
Yeah, it's just a mystical place. Here's the thing, okay, I was about to say something, but I lost it. Anyway, here's a holy bone. This heals 3 solar energy. Units of solar energy.
What do you think would happen if the bulldog ate all the ones?
I don't think anything special would happen. Or it would just feel holy. Anyway, here on something that's actually a little more relevant than all the other tutorials you've seen. What's going
Smack
on?
myself in the face.
Looks like this bridge is out. This shouldn't be so hard. Amaterasu, was it? That's kind of long. Mind if I just call you Ami? Listen, Ami. Ever heard of the spirits of the brush? Good brushwork had its own soul. At least that's what they say. Just watch. It'd take all day to explain. A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And then he goes and does this. Nice, huh? Just a little technique I've mastered called Rejuvenation. It's one of many brush techniques that use divine power. It's a brush god power that can restore broken or missing things. I practiced really hard just to master this one technique. But there are 13, each one is a powerful one of the 13 brush gods. Originally, all 13 were a single powerful deity, but the deity died, and its power was split into 13 separate gods. The gods now dwell within objects all around us, but God or no God, how could anyone have the power to master all 13? So, yes. I know what I was going to talk about. If you couldn't tell, for those of you who don't know already, this game is heavily based on Japanese mythology. Yes. And over here we see we can't cross that. I don't know all the details, but each character has a relevant place in Japanese mythology.
The only mythology I know is about the Nine Tails.
Yes. River of the Heavens.
Honestly, that's it. That's all I know is the Nine Tails.
Yes, he says that he doesn't see a river, he just sees a little puddle. I'm pretty sure we can just head up here to go to where we need to. Wow, look at the stars twinkle. I haven't seen such beautiful nighttime sky in ages. Hey look, Ami, those stars forming a pattern? Are those stars forming a pattern or is it just me? There's one missing. Guess I'll just have to draw the missing star. Bah. Looks like I'm just not ready to draw missing stars. It's like, it tells you to do that. It tells you to do that, but like, it doesn't actually, it's weird how they put that dialogue there. Ah, why, if it isn't Mother Amaterasu. I apologize for not contacting you sooner during these long years. I've never forgotten you. I, Yomegami, God of Restoration, have eagerly awaited this day when we could again meet. While you were away, the 13 spirits of the brush that you once possessed, including myself, have been scattered across this land of men and now lie in disarray. I became a consolation and managed to survive until now. The time has come for you to seek out and reunite all the techniques. Your power is what it needed to be to restore the dried riverbed of the heavens and renew the flow of stardust. There's something on my laptop screen and I don't like it.
That was very loud.
Yes, I know it was. Wow, that was Yomegami, the god of rejuvenation. Wait, so you have the power of rejuvenation now? Can you really use it to restore the river of the heavens? That would mean that you're as good with a brush as yours truly. Nah, it couldn't be true. Who else could master this incredible god technique?
That one's all head.
Yeah, and when you do that, he just like, somebody used a celestial brush technique. Well, I wasn't looking, and all I did was draw a leaf, because I'm too used to trying to do something with these that I can't do yet.
You want to try that?
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, now you can pull up this whenever you want.
Isn't that kind of the tail?
Yes, that's what I was about to point out. When you look at this, compare it to the brush we saw earlier, which was Isu's brush, like when he did the bridge. It actually looked like a proper paintbrush. This doesn't have a stick part, that's a brush. So, I believe it's Amaterasu's tail.
Let's look at the tail.
It looks like the tail. And he's gonna point out the River of the Heavens thing again. Just like, saying the same thing. I wonder to draw the stardust in, and then, nah, that can't be possible. And every time you bring this up until he's just over here, he's going to be like, somebody used a brush technique without me noticing or something like that. Yes, he is. So, when you're here, just bring up the brush, and you'll see that what you leave on the screen is more of a foggy look than an actual ink drawing look. And poof, slow down.
You actually covered most of it.
Yeah, I think I did.
Oh, okay, look at you.
A river of stardust. So this really must be the river of the heavens. But what I really want to know is who the heck drew that darn thing. He did not, when he mentioned how to use the brush, he did not actually expect us to use the brush, apparently. We get over here and we find a treasure chest. This contains a very useful item. You've obtained an astral pouch. Yeah, so what Ethan just said, you fill up the astral pouch by getting food. Food can be found in lots of things. Pots lying on the ground, trees, from people in the game, people's houses. You consume an apple. Get used to this. Every time you pick up a new piece of food, it's gonna bring this up.
It's gonna get very, very, very good.
Especially in the starting areas where you don't run into new food all. Well, you run into new food a lot. Alright. Yes, it is. Moving on. I think now that we've entered the second area and we've gone over some gameplay, time to call this episode. 31 minutes. So yes, in this episode, we got started on our adventures in Okami. And in the next episode, we'll continue our adventures in Okami. We now have at least somewhat of a goal. Well, 2 goals. Save Kamiki Village and find the Brush Gods. So yes, in the next episode, we will continue that. See you guys then.